Hi, folks. Welcome. In this video, I just want to give you a brief kind of introduction to the upcoming unit we're moving into. And so we just finished the education narrative essay in week 5. And so we're moving into a new unit. We're going to do a different type of essay. And so things are kind of progressing along. And so I just wanted to kind of give you some heads up as we kind of move into this new unit. I thought I'd make a video so I could show you some of these things on the syllabus and on Moodle. So anyway, you should be able to see on the screen the syllabus. I said this in an email, I'll say it again. Um, we're moving into a unit where a lot of you, I think, will be thankful there will be less work from the online textbook. And they're going to, but instead, what they'll be, to begin with, they're going to be readings. And so you'll see the readings on there, beginning with Monday the 1st, Nicholas Carr, how smartphones hijack our minds. And then moving on, there is, for this Thursday, um, a unit on academic argumentation from the online textbook. Then there are these are two short readings um, for the 4th. And then next week, no online textbook. You've got two different articles there, and a couple other short things to read as well. And then we're going to do a compare and contrast essay, which I'll talk about later on. But anyway, what I want to point out is, for this next essay at the end of this unit, it'll be a compare and contrast essay, and it's going to be based on the readings we do. And so for that reason, it's important that you're doing the readings. First of all, I'm sure you all will, but it's important to read them pretty carefully, have a pretty good idea of what the articles are about, because you're going to need to write about them in the essay. So heads up on that. And then just a heads up on kind of the whole kind of idea behind the unit. And so you all should have watched a Sherry Turkle TED Talk. And I know almost all of you were able to participate in the video discussion on Flipgrid, which I just watched. And you all had a lot of great points on that. But anyway, that TED Talk was kind of like an introduction to the whole unit, because all these articles in one way or another are going to talk about modern technologies and what effects are they having, and whether they are having some negative effects we might want to be concerned about, or on the other hand, whether these worries about the negative effects are overblown or exaggerated, and maybe it's not such a big problem as some people argue that it is. And so in Sherry Turkle's video, she argues that, the way smartphones are changing social interaction is a problem, and we need to fix the problem. And so other people disagree with that. And so anyway, we'll read these texts. You're going to ultimately write an essay about them. And so you want to make sure that you're reading them, of course. And I didn't try to hit you with a ridiculous amount of reading. So hopefully you'll find these to be not too time consuming. And so on that note, what I want to do is go over to the Moodle page and take a look at how this looks over there. And so some of these articles, you're going to have to sign into different places to get access to them. For the sake of intellectual property rights, I try to do it this way. For the Nicholas Carr, you have to sign into the TroCare library. It'll be the same thing when you get down to Candace Odgers. When I open this up, this is what it'll look like. Mine's already loaded in there, but it's just your TroCare username and password that you use for everything else. So you just punch that in there, and that ought to give you access. If you have problems getting access, please let me know right away, and I can help you out with that. That's one part. And so Nicholas Carr, same deal. But another thing with the Steve Pinker and the Nathaniel Popper for this week, you're going to have to sign up for a free education account with the New York Times. And so as TroCare students, you have the TroCare email address with the .edu ending. And so you get a free digital subscription to the New York Times if you create a New York Times account with your TroCare email address. And so I'm not asking you to get a New York Times subscription, but I'm asking you to sign up for a free subscription with your Trollcare email address. And the New York Times is great to have. They have like I like the recipes a lot. But I get tired of the news, and so I need to look up recipes for my mental health. But there's a lot of great stuff on there that you have access to all of it. But anyway, we'll use these two articles for this class. You need to have access to those. So it's really simple. You just sign up for an account with New York Times with your Trollcare email address. If you have any problems with that, please let me know. And for all these readings, if you remember back to week 2, like the Frederick Douglass study questions, it works the same way. You open the folder, you find a document in here, and then there'll be a place for you to submit your document. I can't show you that because I have an instructor view, but it seems like you're all figuring that out pretty well. And then we'll have another once we've read most of these, we'll have like or at least a few of them, we'll have another Flipgrid discussion about effects of smartphones and that kind of thing. And then we'll move into the compare and contrast essay, where you'll be kind of writing about these different arguments about the effects of technology. Okay, that's all that. And then just one other thing I want to mention with the online textbook. I know the quizzes have been really challenging. And so what I'm trying to do is go in and edit those quizzes. Some of the questions they're either badly written or they're just more complex than they need to be. So I'm trying to change those somewhat. But two things. One thing, when we get to the end of the semester, I'm going to make it so that these quizzes aren't going to like mess up anybody's grade too bad. I'm going to drop at least two of your worst quizzes all semester long. If you want more attempts at any of the quizzes, I'll be happy to give you more. If you ever want to, I've done this with several of you already, but if you want to schedule a Zoom meeting with me, what I can do is I can open up the quiz right on the screen and we can go over it together and I can explain the ones you missed and then you can retake it and then students generally do better after that. This textbook is really well written. Some of the quiz questions are either a little bit too complicated or not written very well. And so I'm going to try to edit those to make that a little bit more reasonable because I know that that's been a little bit of a struggle, but you're doing an excellent job keeping up with that. So I appreciate that. So thank you. And another thing I can tell you about that, it's working because for almost everybody in the class, I can tell you, you did really fantastic work on the education narrative. And this textbook has really, really good material and really good content. It's a well written content, and so I think it's helping you. It's not bad that it's challenging, but I don't want it to tank your grade or anything like that. And so I'll do what I have to do to make sure that doesn't happen. And again, it's only worth about. Let me just take a look at this. It's worth how much of your grade? It's not worth that much of your grade overall. Study plans and quizzes combined are worth 20% of your final grade. So please don't worry about that too much. Please just keep doing it. I'm going to try to make those quizzes a touch less challenging because some of the questions aren't so great. But anyway, that's all I got. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns.